Fitness, until 6 years ago, was something alien and elusive as a concept to me. I only wanted to work out just enough to be able to lose weight or to fit into all the clothes I ever owned. And that meant trying to fit into a size that would take the hands of 4 people to squeeze me into one. But things changed over the years as I slowly started enjoying going for group classes at the gym and strength training. And since becoming vegan at the beginning of last year, I realized I had a new strength in my body. I started lifting heavier weights and started building more muscle. However, there were many days I felt fatigued, lacked the energy to go to the gym, felt completely demotivated to work out. But then there were days I would smash a workout and feel completely alive and pumped. Now, this quarantine has allowed me to experiment with my usual workouts and build my own plan, or sometimes with the help of YouTube or through a friend Cassie, who's actually a personal trainer, to do her workouts and keep active during these times. However, I do realize that for many people, including me on some days, it is a struggle to make fitness a priority. Work, house chores, entertainment, having a great night out involving friends, takeouts, alcohol takes precedence. And from a personal experience, it took a few years to get to the point of making health and fitness a priority like any other thing in life. But why does fitness still remain elusive to so many? Something that's not meant for everyone. Like my mother says, that it's only for bodybuilders. Is it a lack of routine, lack of motivation? Is it too difficult? Are we falling for wrong workouts? Or is it just because we have unknowingly set false expectations and standards for ourselves? And how much your diet plays a role in it? I remember when I became vegan, I had a lot of people telling me a lot of things and giving me a lot of advice on how to have optimal health and fitness. But I always tried to rely on my own research and understanding to know what I should be eating to keep up with my health. Personally, I have never felt this better. But there's so many factors when it comes to leading a healthy lifestyle. Well, there are too many questions and too many things to think about. So I thought, why not bring my friend Cassie onto my podcast to have a chat on the topic of fitness and to maybe bust some myths around vegan lifestyle. Cassie is a personal trainer and has won a major bodybuilding title in the past. She's also vegan and has been on a plant-based diet for over 3 years. She also has an incredible story of improving her physical and mental health through her fitness journey. So let's listen in to see what Cassie has to say on this topic. But first, let's hit the show reel. Hi there, my name is Rashi. I believe we all have had an incredible journey in life. Here on this podcast, I will be sharing the lessons I have learned along the way and will also have guests from all walks of life to have open and honest conversations with on issues and topics that affect us in our everyday life. I hope you will be part of this beautiful tribe. So let's begin. Hi guys, you are listening to Let's Be Rational with me, Rashi. Today we have yet another guest, and she's a dear friend, Cassandra Craddock. And I think we connected online just a couple of weeks before through a mutual friend, and her story and her lifestyle really impressed me. And I thought she would be the perfect person to come on the podcast to talk about fitness and wellness. And a lot of other things about a vegan lifestyle. She's also has a plant-based diet and has been a personal trainer for a couple of years. And she is a yogi as well. And I also wanted to highlight that she, in 2018, participated in ICN Natural Rising Star, which is like a bodybuilding competition, and won all medals and all trophies and all competitions that she participated in, which is pretty impressive for a first timer. And hi Cassandra, how are you?
Good, thanks, Rashi.
I'm gonna
Thanks for
call you
having me.
Cassie. I'm not
Yeah,
used to saying Cassandra, so Cassie.
Cassie. Most people call me Cassie. So go for it. Yeah, it's great to be here.
Thanks
Thanks for having
for thanks for doing this podcast.
me.
Um, so yeah, I was just telling about, how you won straight all competitions, like in that competition, all the categories, I guess. And that was
Yeah.
your first time. I mean, tell me more about it because it's like really fascinating. Like as a first timer, you went there, and how much training did you have before that, and what was your mindset like?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny how it happened because I never really, it was kind of spontaneous that I even did the competition, like because I'm not really like, I don't know, I've been into, I think I had just started working as a personal trainer that same year, maybe.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
and like I'd always been active and done a lot of sports and things. So I guess I already had a good physique. And some people, some friends that had competed sort of had said to me that I should compete or should consider it because of my physique. And then when I started working in the gyms, I met a girl um, there who had done one, and I just like asked her everything about it. And then
Yeah.
I thought, why not? I should give it a go. I mean, it's a good experience for the industry. And yeah, so I just hired a coach. I think I sort of started looking for a coach about 20 weeks, wait, 12, yeah, about 5 months out from the date that I wanted to compete. But I only really got seriously into the training like 12 weeks beforehand, so 3 months, which is actually that's like the shortest amount of time that you should really prep for a show.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah. So normally most people take at least 6 months to prep. I guess like the better condition you are in, the less time it can take.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I just like found a coach at a local gym, and she gave me a training program and a diet plan. And I hadn't even really been lifting weights properly, like proper weight training for very long either. Like I used to just do a lot of body pump classes and different fitness classes, things like that. So it was all like a lot of new things all at once.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess just my body just responded really well to the training. And yeah, I didn't expect any, I had no idea like how I would place. I hoped that I might win, but I didn't think that I actually would. And then yeah, on the day just ended up winning all of the categories. So I was stoked, obviously. But yeah.
That's really impressive. Because you said that you just trained for like 3 to 4 months before. I mean, you started your training 3 4 months ago, and usually it takes someone um, at least 6 months training to be able to participate in a competition like that. Wow, man. Anyways, what made you start your fitness journey, and what's the story behind? Like, I know a little bit, but I want our viewers and listeners to know a little bit of background into, the things that you had to deal with and what pushed you into this whole fitness journey.
Yeah, so it's funny how I've ended up in fitness because it was never my plan. Originally, I was going to become a primary school teacher when I left high school, because I did quite well when I was in high school, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Um, but yeah, I actually started university to become a primary teacher, and I did about 3/4 of the degree when I was like 19 or something, and
Yeah.
I just had a few things going on in my life at the time that got a little bit too much, a lot of stress, and my mental health started going downhill. Um, and yeah, I just like had a really bad year in my third year of uni where I was literally not getting out of bed for weeks on end, and I wasn't going to school, and I wasn't eating or looking after myself. Um, and yeah, it got to the point where my parents were living interstate at the time, and they called me up and they ended up booking a flat for me to go over there and live with them because I'd left home by that time.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I ended up deferring uni. I tried to go back, but I just wasn't really right or in the right headspace. And I ended up getting professional help and stuff. But then, like, from living with them while I was there, I just started to do like online Pilates classes, and they were living near a surf beach in South Australia. So I actually I had my little car, and I think somebody from the church I was going to at the time gave me their old surfboard. So I started driving down to the beach every second day and trying to teach myself to surf. So I got into surfing pretty big time over there and started doing all my fitness stuff, and then I started going to classes at the gym, and I just found like all of that, like being outdoors and exercise, really helped my mental health, and that was sort of my path to recovery. And because I was very anti medication, because I've always been into like natural health, and I just really didn't want to take medication.
Yeah.
um,
I'm like that
so
as well. Yeah.
yeah, so for me, like the exercise was my medicine in a way. um, yeah, and then like after I guess a few months, I heard about the TAFE that was there. I was running a course to do a certificate in fitness for free or something. So I just signed up for that, and then I ended up doing the whole thing and getting my personal training certificate. And then yeah, I ended up doing like an outdoor recreation course as well. So I worked as a surf instructor for a few years after that, and then I started working in gyms. Yeah, but I guess like since then, fitness has been like such a big part of my life because it just goes hand in hand with my well-being.
Yeah.
So
I can
it's kind
imagine.
of
When did you start doing yoga? Because you're also like a yoga,
yeah,
you teach
yeah.
yoga, and I think you were interested, or you do yoga class.
I I practice yoga. I teach Les Mills body balance, which is
Oh yeah.
basically yoga and Pilates, but that's kind of a licensed thing. I'm actually doing my yoga teacher training later this year. So
Yeah.
I was meant to start like 2 weeks ago, but it's been postponed, obviously. um, so yeah, that's in Melbourne. So I started. When did I start? I think it was during that time when I was living in South Australia. I can't remember who introduced it to me. I think it was someone at the TAFE. One of my TAFE instructors was a yoga teacher, and I started going to her classes.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, prior to that, interestingly enough, I grew up in a religious home, like my family are Christian. And so I was always taught growing up that yoga is bad because it's from
Really?
Hindu. Yeah,
Okay, okay. Yeah.
because it's from a different religion. So I always used to think yoga was evil and that I shouldn't do it. And I had never even tried it. And then when I eventually, I think after I had that sort of period of like depression during uni, I started to question my beliefs and things. So I started trying new things, and that's when I started trying yoga and fell in love with it. And yeah, I've just been practicing it on and off since then for years. So yeah.
Okay. Must be tough to sort of overcome those barriers in terms of like belief systems that you hold on to, like since you ever had your first memory. But yeah, that's impressive. Congrats. Sort of getting to that realization that, there's so many ways you can be benefiting in terms of your health and wellness. Um, Also, that I really wanted to talk about is that you are a vegan fitness trainer. And so, have you been vegan for most of your life, or has it just been? Oh, yeah, I
No,
think you said that it was like a couple of years, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, I think that this year will probably be the fourth or the fifth year. I feel like it's the fifth. But yeah,
Okay.
I was in October,
Yeah.
about 4 years ago that I
It's been a
properly went
while.
vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like pescatarian before that for about a year and a half. But I was also dairy free because
Yeah.
dairy, like I discovered, sort of affects my gut a little bit. But I actually grew up on a farm with meat animals. Um, yeah, and my
Yeah.
family are big meat eaters, so it's kind of funny how things turn around. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've
So
yeah.
what was the motivation behind going vegan, and yeah, what's the story?
Well, I guess like I've always loved animals because I grew up with them on a
Yeah.
farm. We had lots of pets and things. Um, and I think just when I was older, like after I left home and started traveling, met other people that were either vegetarian or vegan, and I just got really curious and asked them lots of questions.
Yeah.
And then I remember like I started cutting out dairy just because I noticed it because I get hay fever and
Yeah.
like dairy makes makes you more mucusy and stuff. So like I cut out dairy to help with that, and I definitely noticed a difference with that. And then one of my previous boyfriends was actually a raw vegan, so I learned a lot from him. And started to eat like him when I was dating him, and I noticed a lot of changes in my health. Like I had a lot more energy um, most of the time, and I just like had clearer skin and things like that. So I think that made a big difference. And then I didn't fully go vegan until it was a particular point. Like I never thought I'd actually do it because I thought it would be too hard, and I'd like maybe like it'd be nice, but probably
Yeah.
won't happen. But I was in Japan working for a summer camp um, for a few months, and I had a lot of free time. And so I think a few people had mentioned to me all these documentaries to watch about veganism. So I just like decided to watch all these documentaries, and yeah, I watched like Earthlings, which killed me.
Mm. Yeah,
um,
that's a good one.
yeah, it was fun. And then I watched all these other docos about health and like the health effects of like dairy and eggs and things like that. So yeah, basically after that I was fully converted. and and that was it. So yeah, but I guess I did it in small steps. So because I cut out dairy first, and then I was still eating fish, and then I started to cut out the fish, and then I started to cut out the eggs. So it was like step by step, so it was a lot more manageable and sustainable.
Gradual. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I didn't.
I think I did the same, because for me, like I became vegan last year, so it's been more than a year now,
Yeah.
and I became vegetarian 2 years before that. So I cut out any kind of meat, and even like milk, I would have like soy milk. I wouldn't buy dairy, like cow's milk, and just have pizzas or whatever, like cheese only if I'm going out, or
Yeah.
yeah, just not that much. So even when I was vegetarian, I was like predominantly vegan, like 90% I was vegan.
Wow.
And I think that time I had watched Cowspiracy
Yeah.
and What the Hells, and there was one more. Yeah, something. Yeah, three movies, and I was pretty. It just came from the motivate. So for me, it came. The motivation first was health and environment.
Mm.
But you know what changed everything for me was, I don't know why. It was just one night. I literally feel that there was something, like there was like a spiritual
Yeah.
awakening sort of a moment. It literally was, because I was just on my computer and I was just watching. I just was going through my Facebook feed at night, and I came across Dominion
Mm.
trailer. I just watched that trailer, just the trailer. I hadn't even watched the movie, just the trailer with Coldplay music. Imagine, and I just burst into tears, like really bad. I cried. I remember crying for like 2 hours after that, just thinking about whatever. It was just like really painful. Sorry, my housemate is singing. in the back. uh, so yeah, it was kind of interesting that how that sort of trailer sort of changed overnight my beliefs about veganism, and I literally instantly turned vegan after that.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that
so
was it
powerful.
for me. That was it. And then I watched the whole movie, of course. Um, but yeah, it's just strange. Also, I wanted to ask you, like, Because being fitness trainer and being having a plant-based lifestyle
Mm.
uh, can get you, not in trouble, but just like you can get a lot of comments. Um, Not necessarily negative, but more in the sense of that you don't know how to take care of your health and trying to sort of educate you on it, even though
Yeah.
people themselves are not educated enough about their own health. But they sort
Yeah.
of think that they know a lot when it comes to protein sources and that meat is what you need. Yeah, tell me about your experience since you became a vegan. Like, did you come across that, especially in fitness industry? Because it's so like it's such a thing. Like, oh, you got to have your chicken, you got to have your fish for proteins. Like, you're not gonna get enough protein from just lentils and like beans. um
Yeah.
yeah, what's your take on that?
Yeah. I guess I think in the fitness industry for me, it's been more curiosity. I guess because people see that I am a personal trainer and that I do have a good physique, so they can tell that I've actually figured it out in a way. Um,
I
so
know, right? I'm
yeah,
pretty sure even then people will tell you that. I don't know.
yeah,
For me, it's been like
um,
this has been the fittest that I have been in my entire life. And I still get comments like, oh, it's
mm,
just going to wear off after a couple of years. You're going to start feeling weak or no, like, yeah.
yeah. I think my family is probably the biggest source of skepticism. um, they're like they're big meat eaters and they're always trying to make me eat meat still, or like
Oh,
tell me that I need
man.
calcium, like that. um, and yeah, like definitely I remember when I first went fully vegan, I did actually have a time where I was low in iron
Yeah.
and B12. But I've been getting like been trying to get blood tests like every 6 months just to make sure I'm on top of that. But I think it's very important to be educated to know how to do veganism properly, because it's not
Yeah. Yeah.
as simple, I guess, as just eating meat. So you have to know where to get your iron from and stuff. But I've just like done my study and research over time just to learn where to find those sources of all the same nutrients that you get with the meat eating diet, but from plant sources. And yeah, it's like it's better, I find, obviously,
Yeah.
because it's cleaner and you're not getting all the saturated fats and stuff, but you can still get the same um, nutrients. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the same for me. I think what people forget is that just going vegan doesn't mean that, you start eating whatever. You also have to be careful of what you are putting inside your body. So in terms of, and yeah, like lentils, beans, they all are enough for you to sustain a really healthy lifestyle. And it's not that difficult. A lot of people say that, oh, it's so hard. There's not much to do and there's not much to cook. It's just like tofu, and it's just so not true. Like I don't think I've been this experimental in my cooking since I become vegan. Like, that's
Yeah.
also another thing. There's so much learning. You're not eating the same shit, like not shit, but same food. It's just like you there's so many recipes that you want to try out, and it's just been
Mm.
amazing. And I think there's another big thing that I find, sorry, we're like sort of digressing into this whole vegan thing, but I really wanted to like talk about it because I feel like when it comes to vegan, for me, like I said, the Dominion trailer became like game changing. And it was also because I then realized that no, my health and environment are secondary. I think it's the animals who sh- should be the reason why you become vegan. And then comes your environment and health. And not just that, like I feel like there's a very nuanced um approach to veganism as well. Like I think, and also what's lacking in the whole debate about veganism is, and a plant-based lifestyle, is that not just eating, like you're using animals in your clothes, in your skincare, in like almost everyday products. So I think the debate sort of gets restricted to just eating meat, when the fact is there's so many things that need animal products. And
Yeah.
not much is talked about that. So when you become vegan, it's also like giving up on all those things that sort of come from animals. And we don't need to really use animals for anything when we can literally have like a different lifestyle where sort of doesn't take a toll on the animals. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's what I feel is lacking in the debate about veganism. You look at any, trust me, like 99.9% of the debates about veganism, all they talk about is food, as if veganism is a diet. It's not a diet. It's a way of life where you sort of leave the animals alone and just, you know, your approach is more like kind and compassionate towards animals.
yeah. I guess that's where the term plant-based is being used to differentiate between veganism and plant-based diets. So veganism is the whole
It's
lifestyle,
a whole
and
lifestyle. Yeah.
plant-based is the diet essentially in
Yeah.
veganism. Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely like a whole like opening a whole can of worms. Like
I know.
um, even for myself, like with all the clothing and stuff like that, I'm still learning, and I'm not like perfect at all. I don't call myself like a full 100% hardcore vegan, like because I'm not. I actually still um have like bits of honey sometimes. That's probably the only food source that I have, and
Yeah.
things like with clothing and stuff, I'm kind of learning as I go,
Yeah.
and just
It's also like
trying.
a learning. Yeah. It's also like a learning process. Like I still like, I do own like maybe two or three leather items. Um, it's only because they have been with me for years. Like I'm talking about 6 7 years. And when I
Yeah,
became vegan, I just didn't want to throw them out because still I could use them instead of buying another pair of, you know, shoes. Like I would rather use them, wear them out. But what I know that I'm not buying any more leather products, and whatever I have, I think most of them I've given away. I have sort of donated, and a few items that I still use, like maybe one bag, and I think I've got one leather pair of boots that I use like sometimes. It's
yeah,
only because they are still wearable, and just don't want to like throw them out. But yeah, otherwise, yeah.
yeah.
Anyways, so tell me how, so has the vegan lifestyle sort of changed? So you definitely said it sort of improved your fitness, it improved your fitness levels as well, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like it definitely improved my energy um levels when I first went vegan. I think that's when I first like noticed the biggest difference. Especially when I did go raw vegan for a period of time. And that's when I had the most energy. Just because raw foods have like the most nutrient density. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's almost hard for me to compare um my fitness or my like strength training to before, because I wasn't weight training before I became vegan. Like all of my gains have been made as a vegan, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
um yeah, so it's hard to say like whether I had more success then or now, but I feel like definitely now I do, because I've definitely my physique has improved a lot in the past 3 years or so, and that's all been since I was vegan. So there's definitely nothing to say you can't build muscle or
No, that's so a lot of yes.
yeah.
Because I remember when I became vegan in February last year, I think until January, I was also doing like body pump. Like I've been doing body pump for like 5 years, like on and off, not regularly. But I remember in 4 years, I could only increase, like, you know, the squat weight. I
Mm-hmm.
started with 5 kilos, like 2.5 kilo plates. I started from 2.5. And I think in 4 years, I could just move up to maximum like 15. Like 15 was like the day I would feel, oh my God, I feel pumped.
Yeah.
15. And I remember when I became vegan, I think by March end or April, like within 2 months, I was doing 30 kilos, double,
Mm,
like
yeah.
easily, like not easily, but you know what I mean. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't a struggle. Like
Yeah.
that's impressive. Like I just couldn't believe that I had so much stamina um
Mm,
just by going vegan, like
yeah.
excluding dairy. I think dairy was like the biggest thing.
Yeah,
Cheese and like cows, anything that comes from cows, milk that's made from
yeah.
cow's milk. That
I
was
think
game
it's
changing for me.
yeah, it's awesome. I think it's like a combination of like cutting out those foods that like heavy, like meat and dairy are quite heavy and hard for us
Mhm.
to digest. So it slows your body down a lot. And then
Yeah,
cutting that out, but then also adding all the extra, because obviously when you're not eating meat, you have to make up that space with other foods, other
yeah,
veggies. So you're getting a lot more vitamins and nutrients from the veggies, which obviously help your body to recover quicker and build muscle quicker and stuff like that. So
yeah.
yeah, like
Also, like a lot of junk food has a lot of animal products, and I think then what I think we don't count in is that a lot of junk foods we sort of have to eliminate in order to have a vegan sort of
mm,
diet,
yeah,
plant-based diet. I mean, I'm talking about a healthy plant-based diet. So obviously,
yeah,
then you are incorporating better sources of junk food. Even junk food is not really like that bad, like the ones that I have at least. Like I feel like, I don't know if you notice, like even cheese like that comes, like the bio cheese, the vegan cheese, I find that much lighter on my stomach. And because it's just made from coconut and soy, and
yeah,
it just doesn't feel like cheese, like as if you're eating cheese, because cheese makes you feel sluggish and like, you feel it. But when I have the normal like bio cheese or whatever, obviously now a lot of people will complain like, oh, it's not, doesn't taste the same. And but I have gotten used to it. I actually love it.
mm,
Especially if you put it on like pizzas and stuff like that. I think
yeah.
it's pretty good.
I actually like went because I went off dairy before I even became vegan. I actually like didn't eat any cheese for like 2 years or something. So when I started
Wow.
to try like the bio cheese, I was like, oh, this is great. Like because I haven't had cheese for so long, I didn't even
Yeah.
remember what it tasted like. But yeah, no, it's good. Have you seen the new documentary Game Changers that came out?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
the
that's
documentary is so good, and I still feel like a lot of people had a problem with it. Like a lot of people were saying shit about the movie. And then there was Joe. I don't know if you saw the Joe Rogan's episode on. He brought the producer. I forgot his name. The producer of the movie, and who also acted in the movie. He got that producer onto Joe Rogan's show to, um, yeah, to sort of verify all the bullshit that was being said about, like, oh, that's not right, the claims that are made in the movie, it's not true, and a lot of controversy that happened. But I think
yeah.
that producer and the actor, he sort of clarified on Joe Rogan's episode, like point by point. It's like a 3.5 hour
Mm,
long
yeah.
podcast, and Joe Rogan at the end of it was like, yep, mate, I think you're right.
Wow. I'll have
Yeah,
to
but
listen to that.
what did
Yeah.
you think about it?
Yeah, I thought it was great. Like I felt like when I watched it that I actually already knew most of the information.
Yeah,
Um, like it wasn't new information to me, but it was definitely presented in a way for people that don't know much about it, and to really see the difference between
yeah,
vegan and the effect on physical health. I thought that was pretty cool. Like all um the improvement in athletes' performance and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, so kind of confirmed to me that
Yeah, I think it's an amazing movie. And I don't know why people, obviously it has that sort of an entertainment value. They've sort of, they're talking about, oh, you're getting more erections after eating, like I know there is an entertainment value over there, but that's how that's up to them to decide like how to present those facts in a way that sort of people will want to listen. Otherwise, who wants to listen to a scientific research done on
yeah,
your blood levels? Like, who would want to
yeah,
really tune into that? So
true.
but yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was a fantastic documentary. um why, I also wanted to ask you, like, why is it so, what I find, like, a lot of people complaining about, um like they're really struggling with their fitness, or their lifestyle. They sort of find it really hard to sort of get into a routine of working out and sort of achieve their goals, whatever goals they might be, weight loss, building muscle. Why is it difficult for people in general to not to really take exercise as a form of not just fitness, but it's for me, it's like it gives me that motivation to do other things in life. Like it's such a big motivational factor for me. Why, how can people access um fitness, or look at fitness as something that is beyond just their how they look, and something that can really help them, like how to change that sort of a dialogue around fitness?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, obviously, like most people know that fitness is obviously good for like mental health and physical health and longevity and all that. But I guess people are just worried about their appearance more
Yeah.
than anything. I think, yeah, it just comes down to personal priorities. But um, I guess if I think about like the average person, um, to I guess to change that perspective is just thinking about it in relation to like other things in your life, because people often push fitness aside or like make it a lower priority because either they're too busy at work or too busy with family and
Yeah.
kids or study or things like that. But I guess that, yeah, as you were saying, the reality is if they prioritize their fitness, it will actually help all those other areas of their life. It will help their relationships with their families because they'll be in a better mood and they'll have more energy to play with their kids or whatever. It'll help them to focus when they're studying. And um, yeah,
I
um,
think so too. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it's just finding that balance, I guess, and just finding a way that is manageable to fit into our busy lifestyles. Because if you're trying to go from nothing to doing 2 hours of weight training a day every day, that's not
Yeah.
gonna, it's not sustainable. So I think it's just about finding that sustainable habit that will work, like whether it's just 10 minutes of stretching in the morning or going for a walk, um, for 20 minutes in the evening with your family or something, or like incorporate it into a way that, kind of kills a couple of birds with one stone, even, or just, yeah, the
Yeah.
time that you can fit it in, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure if I've answered your question.
Yeah.
But
No, it did. Like I also feel like yeah, just understanding what you enjoy. I think a lot of people, for example, they enjoy yoga, so they should just do yoga. They shouldn't be pressurized to do other stuff. Though I do feel that, especially women, I think they should definitely try weight training. I think weight training is something, I don't know, that changed the game for me. I never
yeah,
knew I had that much strength. I used to think weights is just for men, and nah, it's not, I don't need it. But then when I started doing it, I don't know, it's just very addictive. Like I don't know, I'm a bit biased towards, I do feel like women should at least give it a try and see if it is for them or not. But otherwise, if you like dancing, maybe, dance 3-4 times a week, go do yoga, do whatever that, if you like running, like I'm not a running person, so, but some people are, if you love
mm,
running, so whatever suits your style that you can stick to. I think that's more
yeah,
important. Consistency, I think, is more important than.
yeah, it's true. It's much harder to like force yourself to do something you don't enjoy, and it's much less likely that you'll stick to it. So yeah, I agree with you. Like finding something you do enjoy, and um, with the weight training, I think it's probably just a old school kind of culture thing that
Yeah.
society has been for so long, that men are strong and women aren't as strong or
Strong,
shouldn't be,
yeah, so,
or that or women
or
are
it will,
afraid of getting too bulky,
or they will
which,
get like a man's body and like.
yeah, it's just a misconception. And like the truth is, women actually don't have the hormones naturally to get at that bulky size that women are so afraid of becoming. Like
Yeah.
you can literally only become like that if you're taking steroids or something like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's just a bit of a irrational fear that a lot of females have about lifting weights. But
Yeah.
the truth is you can actually create like an amazing physique by lifting weights, and it's fun. I enjoy it too. um,
Yeah.
and
I
it's
love it.
empowering as a
It's
woman.
empowering. It makes you feel strong, and it's just not like,
Yeah,
doing cardio. And it sort of obviously anyone who wants to start with weight training, obviously they will start at something like really low, like maybe 5 kilos or whatever it is. And
Yeah.
that's what, it's a journey. Like, it's not going to be easy initially. It's never going to be easy if you're constantly building up your muscle. And it's also important to remember that your muscle is literally like breaking down, it's tearing, and then building a new muscle. Like, it's a process. And it is a little bit, obviously, initially I remember, like, it used to be difficult, and I would be sore. But
Mhm.
over time, obviously, when you start building that muscle, you realize that you can lift so much more.
Mm.
It's just very empowering. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think, yeah, it's like building that confidence in the gym. It helps you to have confidence in other areas of life as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
very important point as well, that how fitness can change your mental well-being as
mm,
well. Like, yeah, I think for me personally, like, just getting into weight training and just exercising regularly, going to the gym, sort of helped me so much when I was, for example, going through like a hard, like a breakup, or that sort of helped me as well.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it just sort of shifts your mind towards
Mm,
something different, and yeah, it's so good.
yeah, I actually find my weight training, it's almost like meditation, like a physical meditation, because you're
Yeah,
focusing your mind on the muscles you're using and the movement that you're doing. I find it, yeah, really um, like therapy, I guess.
yeah. Do you
And
take, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
um, sorry. I was just thinking while you were speaking, like one thing that might a lot of women might find is that it can be intimidating, I guess, as
Yeah.
well. To
It was
do,
for me. Yeah, a little bit
yeah,
initially. Yeah.
yeah, like when you're not used to doing weights or using machines, like if you don't know how to do it, it can be scary. So I can understand why a lot of women would be hesitant to try. And you don't want to look silly while you're doing it as well. But I guess like that's where it's good to, if you can afford getting a personal trainer, or following a program online or something like that,
Yeah.
so that they can teach you the right way. But yeah, it's
I
definitely
think
something.
for me personally, I think doing body pump helped me get into weight training gradually, because body pump, you're in a group environment, you are
Yeah,
doing weights with other people. So it gives you confidence of how to lift a barbell, even though their barbell is like nothing, like 2 kilos or whatever, not even that. But it sort of
yeah,
gives you the confidence to know the movement, and then you can do the same thing on the floor. And then
yeah,
I think body pump was like a huge or a big way in which I could sort of move into weight training. And the second was like, that really helped me. Like, I would take a friend like a few days, and I would
mm,
train with that friend. So that person is watching me how I'm sort of doing it, if I can't really afford to have a personal trainer. So if you can't afford a personal trainer, take a friend who has been lifting or knows a little bit on the floor. Get used
yeah,
to get used to that program, or maybe just use kettlebells. I think kettlebells are a great way to sort of start your weight training.
yeah, for sure.
And I'm talking like a personal trainer. I'm not a personal trainer, but I think that these
Yeah,
all things like helped me in my fitness journey.
for
And
sure.
I feel like once and after a week or 2 weeks, you wouldn't even think about other people. Like, it's just you and your headphones, and you just like doing your exercise. It really
Yeah,
doesn't matter. But yeah.
yeah.
Is there anything else, Cassie, you wanted to touch on that I didn't point out? Or
Um, hmm, I don't know actually.
want to talk about your Iluka Fitness uh, page and the website that you have, if people would
Yeah.
want to seek your professional, training.
Um, sure. So yeah, Iluka Fitness is my business name. And yeah, I have the website, just www.ilukafitness. Um, a lot of people ask me what Iluka means, so I may as well explain that. So it's just a name that I got when I was living in Phillip Island. It's actually an indigenous, like an Aboriginal word for by the ocean,
Oh,
because
okay.
because I was living by the ocean and I love the ocean. I'm a Pisces and just love to do with the ocean. um, so at the time it was fitness by the ocean, but I'm
Yeah.
not living by the beach anymore in spirit.
Oh, okay.
um, yeah, so Iluka, Iluka Fitness
Oh,
dot
sorry. I was
com.
calling it Iluka Fitness. Okay. Yeah. So check Cassie out um, on a website, Iluka Fitness, and I'll put in all the links. Yeah, it was great chatting with you. I think we touched on a lot of things and sort of maybe motivated a few people to sort of maybe if
Mm.
they want to go vegan or if they want to try out a plant-based diet or start their fitness journey. Yeah, Cassie's there for you. I'm here to motivate you. I can't
Yeah,
tell much about exercises, but I can motivate. Um,
and I guess I should mention, like, at the moment, because we're all in lockdown, if people need some workouts, I am running like the free online classes at the moment, so that's all on my social media. So yeah,
yeah,
tune
yeah. Yeah, Cassie's
in.
also running an online boot camp, which is amazing. I tried a few workouts and I was sweating, but they are fun as well. They're different each day, so
Yeah.
it doesn't get repetitive. Yeah, fun. Thanks, Cassie, for doing this. And yeah, being part of this community where we talk about each other's lives and share, important messages that we have to share with other people. Yeah, thanks, guys, for watching and tuning in. Thank you. Thanks,
Actually,
Cassie. Get my jumper so flashy.
I like it. It's pretty.
Thank you. Yeah, it was just from Cotton On. I feel bad, but yeah, it's an old one. I found it today, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna wear it.
Yeah, good idea. I'm just in my like comfy jumper.
Yeah, it is cold, right? It's really cold.
Cold. Yeah.
Yeah.